And so today we're going to talk about how small businesses can scale up and what are the things that are holding the small business from scaling up. And before we start, just quickly introduce myself. So I am Grace. I am a strategist and I am also a business and a personal coach. So right now I still work for a large company. So I work for one of the global management consulting firms, and my clients are mostly large organizations across industries, including kind of consumer goods, telecom, media, banking, etc. And what I do for them is helping them solving their very complicated and critical business problems and helping them grow and outperform their competitors. And what I am passionate about is helping small businesses, helping entrepreneurs to succeed in whatever business they are creating. And I want to apply what I have done for large organizations to the small businesses because I've seen that it really helped them, and I believe that the business strategy can be very helpful for small business owners as well. And aside from that, I'm also a personal coach. I believe in working on your strength. I believe that by working on and leveraging your strengths and create success, it's better than working on your weakness. So that's also one of my passion. With that said, I want to just do a very quick exercise with all of you just to warm up a little bit. Please give show up of your hands if you are in the process of creating your own business. Okay, I just want to see like how many of you are already entrepreneurs. I know Saida, you are, right? Okay, please show of hands if you have the passion of creating a scalable business. Okay, great. That's awesome, that's awesome. So it looks like that I am speaking to the right audience. So, okay, that's awesome. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is really like, I've been studying businesses who are successful and the ones that are not successful. And what I want to show you today is really showing examples of the business who are really able to scale up, who are able to become 7 figures or even more business, and also show you the ones that are not doing so well. I've been spending a lot of time really speaking to the owners and doing a lot of research, figuring out what is happening behind the curtain. And I want to show all what I've learned to you today. And in terms of my kind of approach, are really 2 ways. One is I study best practices, like for my job right now. So if a bank comes to me and saying, I want to know how I can, for example, if we're doing loan issuance, how we can shorten the end-to-end process for a loan issuance process, then I would go and really look at the industry, like what is the best practice out there, and then how the competitors are able to do that, and then I would synthesize the information and then coach my client. So I'm using that same approach to get really the best practice and show it to you today. And the second one is kind of my belief of what is the right way to create a business. I believe that seeing, doing, achieving is the right approach. And I would emphasize there's an order. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they probably just jump right into doing something without seeing the past. That, I'm not saying that you won't be successful, but that probably will take a little bit longer time. But if you are able even to see what is going to happen before you start taking the steps, that will probably help you achieve your goals a little bit quicker. Okay, so these are my approach. And I also believe that in order to be successful, you need to have a plan. So Warren Buffett said, risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. And I think as a strategist, it's my job to help people understand what they are doing before they start to take the steps so that they can reduce the risks improve the chance of being successful in the future, and also give them a lot more confidence as well, because they know what they're doing, they know what they're expecting. With that said, I'm going to show you today both successful cases and also failure cases. So I've picked two industries, both are very popular today. One is e-commerce, and then the other one is service businesses. So for each industry, I've picked two cases. So quickly going through them now. For e-commerce, the failure case is a company who produces oil, specifically oil produced from a plant from Morocco called argan. Maybe some of you have already heard of this type of oil. And then the successful case, it's about shoe accessories. Okay, and then in terms of the service business, I'm going to talk about the unsuccessful case. It's a health advisor or fitness health advisor. And I'm going to talk about like why she was not able to do very well in her business. And then the successful case, I've chosen a business coaching example that I'm going to share with you a little bit later as well. So let's jump right into the cases. So first is about e-commerce. So I've synthesized a few factors of why the business, the oil business, is not able to do well. Let me show you, and then I'm going to talk about the shoe accessory business, why it's able to grow and scale up so quickly. So the owner of this business is really a very interesting guy. So he is very passionate about traveling. So I had actually a few chats with him. So he told me why he chose this product was because when he traveled to Morocco, he found that argan oil is really, really very popular there. And he learned that there's a lot of health benefits about the oil. And then he decided to introduce it to the UK. He has been doing it for a couple of years, probably over 3 years, but still struggling to scale up. So let's look at how he chose the product. So first, the idea generation. He said, I saw it, I really like the oil, I tried it, I love it. So that's why I decided to do it. And however, he doesn't really have a scientific approach of knowing like how to choose a product that is easier for him to operate, easier for him to build a business around. So he didn't have a plan at all. I'm not saying you have to have, again, a scientific approach. I'm just saying, based on what I've learned, having a scientific approach will help you better to start to grow and to scale up your business. And then the second reason is that he was not able to find a niche market. So he is selling the oil to everyone. And when he does the marketing campaign, it's also targeted at everyone. And so for example, I asked, well, do you like do specific campaigns for people who are like, for example, stay-at-home moms or people who have some health problems, for example, high cholesterol level? No, he doesn't. Or he shifts. So day one, he does the marketing campaign targeting at this group of people, and then another day he will do another campaign targeting at a different group of people. So it's really not consistent of what he's doing. And then speaking of channel expansion, he also used the approach which is like go and try. Yeah? Try and see how it works. And so for example, Amazon, he started to apply to have his product to be sold on Amazon, but then because Amazon has a really complicated procedure about approving food-related products to be sold on that platform, and it's been like years and he still hasn't been able to get the product to be sold on Amazon. And on the other hand, he had tried to sell his products on high street stores, but because of all types of restrictions, for example, some store requires you have a minimum stock of this month, or some other stores really even require you to have a warehouse. Like not further than 400 meters away from the store. So there's a lot of hurdles for him to start selling his products to those specific stores. So that's why his channel expansion was also not very successful. And then marketing strategy. He tried a bit on Facebook, Google+, but didn't really generate really high response because he doesn't have a clear marketing strategy. So who are you targeting and what do you want to achieve using Facebook? Are you trying to grow your community or trying to just generate likes, or are you trying to generate sales? So he didn't really have a clear plan. Okay, now let's switch to the really successful example, the shoe accessory. So why this company is able to scale up? So this company is actually able to scale up within 2 years' time. So they reached 7 figures in less than 2 years' time, which I think is amazing. So a little bit background of this guy. So this person is, he himself is very good at marketing, especially things related to SEO optimization. So he's also passionate about sports as well. So selling this shoe accessory is really aligned with his passion. But let's first look at how he chose this specific product. So he actually did really extensive research about what he wanted to sell. So I can tell he actually sells shoelaces for sneakers. But it took him a long time to really understand like what is the pain point. Then he did a bunch of research, realized that actually people want shoelaces, to replace the ones they currently have. And then he had a long list of criteria that he need to go through in order to choose the product he want to sell. For example, first is demand. There need to be demand, and then weight need to be very lightweighted. And then duration. He doesn't want to sell something that has an expiration date. And then food versus non-food, because he wanted to like fast scale up. He prefers to choose something that is non-food, which is like easier to stock, to transport, etc. And solid versus liquid. So also solid, in his opinion, it's easier to transport, to stock, and he would go for solid. And then production cost. He went for this one, which is extremely cheap in terms of production cost. So that doesn't require him to invest a lot of money upfront. And also competition. So he actually went to see what are the competitors doing, how they're doing. He actually found the competitor who is doing really well. That actually gave him confidence that there is a market out there and it's a scalable market. Okay, so he really has a long list of criteria. And then find the niche. So he really take extra steps out there to know what his target audience are, and he know them as well as he know his product. And based on what he said, his customers are between 18 to 24 years old. They're all male. Their education level is high school. Their income level is low. They're big fans of sports. They like Michael Jordan. And then they use Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. So he really knows them. And if you look at this guy, so he's really interesting. Like how he dress and how he speak, the way he speak, the way he even behave, really resonate with his target audience. So that he is speaking their language. Okay, and then the third one is channel expansion. He did tons of research to decide which channel he would like to sell his products on. So he specifically chose not to sell his products on Amazon because he believes the power of branding, and he knows it's really difficult to leverage a third platform to do your own brand. And that's why he went for creating his own shop online. And also another thing, because he understands e-commerce, it's about generating the list, generating your customer base. And with Amazon, it's really, really difficult to do that. And that's why he also went for creating his own website. Reason number 4 is marketing. So this guy, he is really, really good at SEO. This really, really good at content marketing. So what he did was he went out, did a lot of research, understand what the customers are talking about, understand what the customer really want. So for example, he did a lot of research and realized that the customers, they want shoe release dates, things like that. Or things like shoe and shoelaces, how do they match together? So all his marketing campaigns are around the topics that his target customers truly want. And when he promoted his blog, his content, he did massive outreach. Reached out to tons of bloggers, forums, and also fashion magazines as well. Needless to say that he is also using Facebook to do massive marketing as well. I believe that he does a lot of video, small video, very short video, put them on Facebook. What he does was just simply put like, how do you put the lace on, and the matching between the shoe and the lace, and put it on, and it generates a lot of virus. Okay. Then number 5 is build a process from day one. So he was able to really create a process, either automate things or outsource things as much as he can. So for example, he outsourced the entire web design and the web building. And then in terms of content marketing, he basically listed step by step what kind of research you need to do to create the content, and where you can find the content, and in what form the content needs to be put together. And he find the people to do it for him. So that's why he's able to entirely free him up. So he said after building the business for 2 years, he only need to spend between 2 to 4 hours a week on his business, which is amazing. Okay, so above are the 2 examples about e-commerce. Now let's take a look at another type of business. So what I call service business. So they can be things like, for example, Coach is a great example. And also I think like a lot of probably female entrepreneurs are thinking about creating coaching business. So that's why I also picked this topic. And I've also studied 2 examples. Also, first is the kind of not very successful example. Let's look at why this business was not able to scale up. So this is about a fitness coach. So she helped people train to reduce weight, to get stronger, and also provide nutrition advice to her clients. So she actually worked on the business already for 6-7 years, but she's like really tied up at her business, and she's not very happy about where her business is at the moment. So let's take a look at why she's not able to scale up. So number 1 is she is serving everyone who comes to her and asking her to help them. So she doesn't have a niche. She would train people who are 60-year-old, who are men, and she would also train like 30-year-old female, someone who are overweighted, and someone who are extremely slim and still want to get better. So she doesn't have a clear kind of niche focus. She's just basically take whatever comes to her. And then secondly, because she is so busy out there helping people train, she doesn't really have time to think about what kind of authority she wants to have in her own domain. So that's what I say, she's not able to like really establish authority. So what is authority? Authority is something like you know a problem really well, and you have your own insight, you have your own opinion. Like when people speak to you, they know, okay, you are an expert on XYZ. But because a lot of people, they are really like taking whatever comes to them, they don't have the time to really think very deeply, okay, what is my unique value proposition? What is the unique problem that I am solving? Right? So this is super critical for people who want to be coach. You need to develop certain expertise. You have your own voice, own opinion in the area that you want to serve. And then another one is trading time for money, because she is serving individual clients. So her just max out her hours very easily. So she probably works like 40, 50 hours a week and that's it. And she charges by the hour and that's it. You can like really calculate how much income she can generate maximum, right? And her business model is also selling one-on-one session, like rather than selling a whole package or a transformational program, right? She would sell like maximum maybe 10 sessions altogether, then she offers a discount. But still, that does not allow her to scale up her business. So that's the health coach. Now let's look at another example who is a business coach. So this lady, she actually started with helping people who want to create their own health coach business. And now she is becoming very successful, so she has expanded to other type of business coaching. So let's look at what she does that truly made a difference. So number one is she is serving a very, very niche market. So she brand herself as start with health coach. Health business coach. People who help a business coach to create and build their own business, but focus very specifically on the health industry. Because she also had tons of experience related to the health industry before. And then she sells one-to-many rather than one-on-one. So she stopped having individual clients, and what she does is that she made her program really like open to all the people, all her clients, and she doesn't like offer, she still offers some one-on-one time, but mostly she record her program and then she will sell her pre-recording to her customers, okay? And then she has the time to really establish herself as an expert. She goes to conferences, she organizes forums, and she socializes with other people who are also experts in that specific industry. So she was able to really establish herself well in the industry and gain a good reputation. And then she provides customer with an experience, with a transformation, rather than selling individual lessons. So when she sells her product, she would say, you come to my business, you come to my program, you become my client. At the end, this is your outcome, right? I'm going to help you generate this much revenue, or I'm going to help you build a business that might look like that. It takes her tons of time to really figure out what exactly she can help the customers to achieve. It's really, really not that easy. And also in the business world, you don't want to overpromise. So she did a lot of work upfront, but it's all worth it. And right now she's able to generate multi seven-figure business, like within a short period of time. I believe it's within between 2 to 3 years. Okay. And also selectively do the marketing that works. So I was really amazed to find out that for this business coach, all her business like comes from Facebook advertising, and she doesn't even have a very active Facebook page. She has her personal profile page, like everyone we have. But if you look at her business page, she doesn't even have a very, very, very active page. But she only does what is necessary, the critical thing that she has to take in order for her to become successful. And she also did a bunch of different things before. For example, she tried podcast, she tried blog, and she tried YouTube as well. Then she all stopped. Right now, she just focused on helping her clients. She has stopped all those. So I mean, like, doing marketing can be very selective, and there are so many ways you can do marketing. There are so many different ways of being successful by doing marketing, but it's important to figure out a way that really works for you. And to be good at marketing, you don't need to do everything. So like my previous example, the e-commerce guy, he mainly does blogging, content marketing. And this lady, she mainly does Facebook ads. So completely different strategy, but both work. So it's really important to figure out what is the strategy that works for you. Lastly, so she's able to build a team. I believe she has a team of including both full-time and part-time employees, a total of 12 people, to help her run a multi-seven-figure business. So that is the summary for why this service business is very successful. So if I want to summarize, I want to say build a scalable business is not rocket science, but it requires a lot of work up front. And again, as a strategist, I believe it's 80-20. You need to do 80% of all your preparation up front in order to achieve the success in your business the quickest way you can. And I also believe that knowing what to do is the key. And success is not purely luck, it's traceable, it can be learned. Learning from people who have already done what you want to do is a great way to achieve the success that you want. And also I believe that success is for everyone, it's not only for the super smart people. And as long as you put the work up front and also take massive correct steps, you will be able to achieve the success that you want. So that's the end. And so thank you, everyone.